Good morning. How's everyone doing? I hope everyone has been doing their daily exercise, even though it is absolutely boiling. As you can see, I'm sweating a lot. I've just finished my morning run, getting myself ready for a long run this afternoon, which will be about 20 to 25k in this heat. I promised you guys that I would put out a nutrition video this week about race day nutrition. So we can only keep these clips really short. So I thought I would give you a real basic race day nutrition plan. What is important? You need electrolytes. This is to keep all of your electrolytes balanced. So this is your minerals in your body. When we sweat, we lose lots of potassium, sodium. My brain is exhausted trying to think of all these. So an electrolyte is really important so that we don't become dehydrated. Second most important thing is a carbohydrate energy source. So most of you might have seen things like energy gels. I think you can get energy tablets or sweets, these sorts of things, or I think you can get them in liquid form now, powders. These are really important for during the run. No matter who you are, whether you're Mo Farah, Eliud Kipchoge, Paula Radcliffe, Kelly Holmes, whoever, or whether you are just Joe Bloggs going for a run, your body only has the ability to run for about 60 minutes before all of your energy sources, your glycogen sources, are completely depleted. And that is why the gels are so important to replace. Otherwise, you are going to fatigue, you're going to start eating into your muscles, you're going to put yourself out for injury, you're going to have a whole heap of problems. So it is best to make sure that we do have something like a gel on board. Now, I personally have quite a sensitive digestive system, and I would say that pretty much probably about 80% of the people that I know in the running world also have sensitive stomachs. Now, luckily, some of the running companies out there have worked out that shoving us a load of chemicals and heavy sort of glucose gels are going to upset our stomach, especially if we've been running, because all the blood goes to our arms and legs and shuts down our digestive system a little bit. But luckily, as I say, some companies have developed things that we call hydrogels. A really simple example of a hydrogel are the More10 gels. More10 gels come in little sachets. I generally I'm a bit different. I generally start taking my gel on board after about 5k of running. Now, I don't need to at that point. That's probably about 20 minutes in for me. But my problem is that I can't digest them very quickly. So rather than me sort of necking it in one go, I sort of sip through my gels for the next sort of 20 to 30 minutes. I then will carry on that process for every when I finish that first gel, I'll then move on to the next one after the next 5k. Aiming to try and replenish about 60 grams of carbohydrate every hour of exercise. Each of those gels, for reference, roughly have about 30 grams of carbohydrate. So that's why, as you can see, I'm going to be having 2 gels within the first hour. It can all get a bit complex when it comes to gels, powders, liquids, potions, this, that and the other. And that's why I like to keep it really simple. As I say, I just like to have an electrolyte before. I'll have it in my 500ml bottle. I like to have an electrolyte ready for after. I use the Science in Sport effervescent ones. I think there's High Five. There's lots of brands that do them. You can sort of get them from Tesco sort of thing. And I also keep it simple by using, as I say, the hydrogels from More10. There are other companies out there, but I find More10 works really well for me. I don't really use anything else during. Once you have finished your race, you've sort of done your cool down, you've sort of made your way, you're travelling home. Within that first hour, it is really important that you do get something back in the system, especially if you've been pushing yourself for a couple of hours. Now, what sort of food should we be looking at? We should be looking at very easily digestible carbohydrate and protein sources. So something like, I like to have what I call special rice. So I might have a plain basmati rice. I use white rice just because it's easiest to digest, with something like some chicken or some ham. You could almost make like an egg fried rice, put some eggs through it or something. I find having quite bland food is best after a race, because you sometimes feel like your digestive system's a bit upset after that. And the same goes for pre-race nutrition. Now, this is one that lots and lots of people get wrong, and I don't blame you all because there is so much information out there. I think the worst one that I've ever heard was someone told me that they make a really healthy smoothie before a race. You know, lots of bananas, berries, honey, peanut butter, oats, all this and the other. as they were telling me, I mean, I think I was getting stomach pains for them. All I was thinking was, oh my God, if you're going to be running within the next hour, how on earth is your gut going to digest all of that fruit, that fibre, all those seeds, all that fat? That is, that's asking for trouble. That is asking for runner's trots. So what do I have? You can call me Buddy the Elf. I personally like to cook up some rice the night before so that it is cold. I then actually put something like honey or maple syrup on it, purely because that is a good carbohydrate source that is very easy to digest, especially if your race is early in the morning. I don't want to be thinking about digesting at 5 o'clock in the morning, but unfortunately, you do have to eat before. But you could, obviously, you don't have to do the cold rice and Buddy the Elf tactic, but you could have something like a white piece of bread with some jam on it. You could have some porridge oats with some honey on it. I would try and avoid things, as I say, that are very fibrous. Anything too high fat content, your digestive system will struggle to break that down. Now, I am not an expert when it comes to race day nutrition. I don't sell myself as an expert, but what I am is a qualified running coach. I am a qualified personal trainer. I myself am a runner. I've been running for about 2 or 3 years now, and I've had to sort of work it out for myself. I also am a qualified nutritionist, and I also have made many, many mistakes, which I think is the best qualification you can have, because hopefully I've made all the mistakes so that I can give you the right information, and so you don't have to go through that too. But if you do have any questions about race day nutrition, if you've got something coming up, please just send me a message and I'll be more than happy to talk you through a sort of basic plan of how to get started.